I refused to pay for my sister's house and she called the police on me. I said it calmly, standing in my own hallway with 2 officers behind me and my mom on the phone in my pocket, and I'd say it again without changing a single word. My sister Jade has known I bought my house 3 years ago. She'd been at the housewarming. She'd stood in my kitchen and said how amazing it was and how she couldn't wait to buy her own one day. She'd been renting since she was 22 and had, in the 10 years since, never once saved meaningfully toward a deposit because there was always something more immediately necessary. A holiday, a car upgrade, a kitchen renovation on the rental she didn't own. I'd never said anything about any of it because it was her life and her money and neither was my business. 6 weeks ago, she sat across from me at my parents' dining table and told me and my parents together that she'd found a house she wanted to buy and needed £60,000 for the deposit. Then she looked at me specifically and said she knew I had the money and she needed me to give it to her, not lend, give. My parents were completely silent. I asked her to repeat what she'd said. She said she'd been struggling for years while I'd built myself a comfortable life and it was time I helped her. She said £60,000 wasn't going to make a difference to me and would change her life. She said family helped family and I'd always been selfish with my money. She said all of it at my parents' dining table in front of both of them like she was presenting a reasonable business case and expected everyone to nod along. I told her no. I told her I'd worked for what I had and I wasn't giving it away and she needed to save for her own deposit the way everyone else did. She said I was disgusting. I got up and went home. What happened over the following 2 weeks I found out in stages. Jade had told everyone in our extended family that I'd refused to help her and was sitting on money while she struggled. She'd told my aunt I'd laughed at her. She'd told my cousin I'd said she didn't deserve a house. She'd told my uncle I'd made her feel worthless. None of it was true. None of it was even close to what had been said. I'd said no and left, and somehow that had become a coordinated campaign against my character across every branch of the family. Then she called the police. She told them I'd threatened her, that I'd stood over her at the dining table and intimidated her into asking for money, or I'd make her life difficult. 2 officers came to my door on a Tuesday evening. I invited them in, told them the full story, and showed them the text messages between Jade and me from the previous 2 weeks. Her demands, my refusals, her escalating messages calling me selfish and heartless and telling me I'd regret this. One of the officers looked at the messages and then looked at me and said he was sorry for the inconvenience. I called my mom from my hallway while the officers were still there. She'd known about the police call. She hadn't warned me. She said she'd thought it would blow over and hadn't known Jade was going to go that far. I told her this was what going too far looked like, and I needed her to understand that clearly. My mom came over the next day and sat across from me and said she was sorry, that Jade had always struggled with being told no and she'd enabled it for too long and she knew that it had gone on so long, Jade had stopped understanding where the line was. It was the most honest thing my mom had said to me in years. I told her I appreciated it and that I wasn't angry at her, just tired of the whole thing. Jade has called me twice since. I haven't picked up. She texted last week saying she'd found a way to save for the deposit herself and she hoped I was happy. I told her I genuinely was and that was the last thing I said to her. Subscribe for more stories.